Let me ask you something. What would you do if the two people you trusted most, the love of your life and your own flesh and blood, betrayed you in the most shocking way imaginable? Imagine being pregnant with their child, only to discover that while you're carrying their future, they've been hiding a dark secret from you. I caught my fiancé hooking up with my sister while I'm pregnant. And tomorrow at our family gathering, I'm exposing everything. All of it. This isn't just a story about betrayal. It's about power. It's about strength. It's about reclaiming your life when it feels like the world is crashing down around you. And stay with me because, trust me, the most intense part of this story is just beginning. Let me take you back to a few months ago. Everything seemed perfect. At least that's what I thought. I was pregnant with Jake's child, and everything was moving fast. We'd started planning the wedding, picking out names for the baby, and we were living what seemed like a happy life. He had a steady job, I was starting to feel the pregnancy glow, and we were ready to settle down. But then the small things started to add up. It was nothing big at first, just little things that would slip through the cracks, and I convinced myself I was overthinking. But when you're pregnant, you can't help but feel a little extra sensitive. It started with Jake coming home late from work. Not just once or twice, but consistently. He'd tell me it was because of overtime or meetings that ran late. The thing is, I didn't really buy it. There's a difference between being tired from work and being too tired to talk to your fiancé when you get home. I tried to brush it off at first. He was just being a man, right? Men are naturally more focused on their careers. Maybe that's all it was. But the truth is, a feeling started to rise within me. A feeling I couldn't ignore. Then there was Emma, my sister. Emma and I had always been close, growing up together, sharing secrets, and telling each other everything. I thought nothing could come between us. But it started with the little things. She would text Jake all the time, just casual check-ins, asking how he was doing. I didn't think much of it at first. She was just being sweet, right? But then I noticed something strange. She started showing up at our house more often, suddenly making excuses to come by when she knew Jake would be home. They would sit together, laughing about something only they understood. And it didn't sit right with me. I thought I was imagining things. After all, who could blame a pregnant woman for feeling paranoid, right? I told myself, you're being crazy. Emma's your sister. Jake is your fiancé. They're not doing anything wrong. But deep down, a small voice kept telling me something wasn't right. You ever get that feeling? That gut-wrenching feeling that you can't shake? When you just know something is off, even if you don't have the proof yet. Yeah, that was me. Still, I pushed it aside. I ignored the signs. I wanted to trust them both. I wanted to believe that my family would never hurt me. But then came the day everything changed. It started as a normal doctor's appointment. I went in for my checkup, everything was fine, and I was feeling good. But by the time I was done, I got a call from Jake saying he had to work late again. I thought nothing of it. Just another one of those days where he couldn't make it home. I drove home early, thinking maybe I'd get some quiet time to relax. But when I pulled into the driveway, something felt off. Jake's car was in the driveway, but the house felt unusually quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, but that kind of silence that makes you feel uneasy. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. There was no noise at first, but then I heard it. Laughter. Laughter that sounded too familiar. It was coming from the direction of our bedroom. I stood there in the doorway, unsure of what I was about to walk into. My heart started pounding in my chest. My feet felt heavy as I approached the door. I don't know why I did it, but I peeked inside. And that's when I saw them. Jake and Emma. In my bed. Together. I didn't scream. I didn't say a word. I just stood there, frozen. I couldn't move. It felt like everything in the world was closing in on me, and I couldn't breathe. I don't remember how long I stood there, but the moment I saw them, my fiancé, the man I trusted, and my sister, the woman I thought I could never lose, everything shattered. Jake's face turned pale when he saw me. He scrambled to pull the sheets over himself, but it was too late. Emma's face went white, too, as she sat up, her eyes wide with guilt. And then Jake said the words I'll never forget. Wait, it's not what it looks like. Not what it looks like. The same words they always say when they get caught. I didn't react. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I didn't cry. I just turned around and walked out. I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say. I got in my car and just drove. I couldn't think. I couldn't feel. It was like the world had stopped, and I was floating, trying to process what I had just seen. I thought maybe I'd go to my parents. Maybe I'd go to my best friend. But something inside me told me that wasn't the answer. I needed to think. I needed to make a decision. And that's when I made up my mind. Tomorrow, at our family dinner, I was going to expose everything. I knew what I had to do. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but it was time to take control. I've spent the last 48 hours preparing, collecting evidence, going through texts, photos, voice memos. The truth is all there, in black and white, ready to be seen. And tomorrow I'm going to stand up at that dinner and tell my family the truth. I'm going to expose Jake. I'm going to expose Emma. I'm going to watch their faces as they try to come up with excuses. I'm going to see the guilt on their faces when they know there's no running from it anymore. It won't be easy. I know people will be angry at me for airing this out in public. But you know what? I've already been hurt by these people, and I'll be damned if I let them get away with it. Tomorrow is my moment. Tomorrow I will be free. Now I know what you're thinking. What would you do in this situation? Would you expose them the way I am? Or would you let the silence speak for itself? Would you let them off the hook? It's hard to imagine what it feels like to have your trust shattered like that. To know that the two people you thought would never hurt you, your partner and your own sister, could do something so unthinkable. But tomorrow I'm going to take control of my narrative. I hope that no matter what happens, you learn from this. Betrayal is going to test you, but it doesn't have to define you. It doesn't have to break you. In the end, you get to decide who you become from it. And no matter what happens tomorrow, I'm going to walk away stronger. I'm going to walk away knowing that I stood up for myself. If you've been through something like this, or if you know someone who has, leave a comment. Let's talk about how we handle these things. How we pick up the pieces of a broken heart. And if you want to hear more real stories like this, make sure to check out my next video. Because trust me, this journey is far from over.